We are live, on est en live. Tonight we told Igor that we would speak only in French. On va parler juste en français because Igor does understand French very good. Isn't it, Igor?
Yes. And I think that you had, I read research, and also because I mentioned you Florence, and I was researching their history and civilization before and afterwards, and I read the research that actually the Roi de Rouen uh, s'appelle pas Hugo, ma Igor Capet, the king of Rouen, the Cathedral de Rouen, and that those linguistic researchers, and they say that actually his name was Igor, not Hugo, Capet, Igor Capet, Hugo Capet, the king. Hello?
Like Hugues Capet.
Ah, yes. And I know also one composer. He was in Skopje and also in North Macedonia. He was researching the music and this ancient singing in the monasteries. And actually, his name was I remember Hugues de Courson, Hugues de Courson, and he was composing also music for the short movies of um, for the commercials of Jean-Paul Gaultier, because he's also a film director. In a sense, he's making a commercial for his fashion clothes, but he was also um, writing music for the short movies of Carnot. I think his name was Carnot. The French director that directed one of the Aliens series, and also he directed Delicatesse, the movie. Amélie Poulain, he also directed. They used to be two directors, and they were exchanging, and some of them was, but for one of them, the one that he is shaving his head, he was writing music, and also I remember that he wrote the music for the opening of the Olympic Games in Canada, in Calgary, and also for the theatrical director that directed this opening of the Winter Olympic Games, and his name was Philippe Decoufflet. Philippe, the most famous French theatrical director, Philippe Decoufflet. Like he's in a style of Cirque du Soleil, no? And also once I met, but he was really not famous, Franco Dragona, Franco Dragona. He was but this was like 20 years ago, and he was directing the performances of Dario Fo, and then later, much later, he became very famous, and I wrote him, but he didn't answer me. And he was now he's directing some of the episodes of Cirque du Soleil, and also the ones in Las Vegas. I know. And he lives in Belgium, but originally he's Italian. No, Franco Dragona. Have you heard about him?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, Cirque du Soleil it has two directors, Franco Dragone, and the other one is uh, Pierre. I forgot. So some Pierre, I think he was.
Okay, so maybe we will start with the first poetry. We've got a submission from Sudeep in India.
untitled. As I looked beyond, I found agony embedded in that carcass. Somewhere deep, she was lovelorn. Black and red restored myself. Everywhere there was beating of demonic and deafening drums. How could you carry on amidst catastrophe and follow your love to put an apostrophe? Thank you.
Thank you, Sudip, for your contribution. And now maybe we'll let Lydie tell her poetry. Vous pouvez y aller, Lydie.
Très bien. Alors, le premier poème. Partir dans le courant, prendre le large, lâcher, regarder s'éloigner la rive épuisée pour goûter la confiance de la vague qui emporte les remous. Partir dans le vent, prendre son envol, céder, écouter s'écouler le silence rincé pour sentir l'audace de la brise qui anime l'instinct. Trouver ce qui, si longtemps cherché, était caché au creux de soi, la liberté d'aimer. Et le second, puisque la nuit est mon jour, puisque le silence est mon vacarme, puisque la violence est sa paix, puisque la peur est son souffle, pour toutes les mains qui enserrent les gorges, hurlons à la lune. Pour toutes les bouches qui bâillonnent les cœurs, valsons sous les étoiles. Pour toutes les langues qui étranglent les rêves, sculptons dans le marbre. Loin de tout prêcheur et des tristes rois qui sans fin haranguent, de cette folie qui étouffe, hissons les voiles. Prenons le large, déposons les armes que nos blessures enlacent à la porte de la forge, pour qu'un matin, un midi ou un soir, à notre bon vouloir, et ne vous en déplaise, nous choisissons seuls, parmi tous les chemins, celui de notre liberté. Chantons sous la grêle, dansons sur la braise, vibrons dans la glace, ondulons dans les chutes. La vie est là, aussi frêle soit-elle, au creux de soi, volcan de sang devenu sève, à la peau d'écorce d'arbre que nul ne peut éteindre, une voix qu'on ne peut contraindre. Merci.
Merci. C'est vrai que vous le disiez tout à l'heure, ils sont assez liés dans les thématiques.
Oui, oui, tout à fait.
So now, Igor, you're next.
The first poem I will read tonight is, the name of it is Cancer. Accidentally once while I was climbing stairs, I noticed some weakness without knowing if of age or diarrhea. Few days after, I was really scared. I had no one to call, nor someone to call me, so I went to the doctor. I wasn't particularly surprised that there is an outgrowth in me, which spreads with metastasis inviolably and coldly. I carry out the therapy consistently, letting it even be my ending. I still want to live, it's not the same for me. I wished I was gone, since I am aware the terrible disease is taking my life as to anyone. Soulless, I'm happy, I'm still flourishing. I wonder how it would be if I wasn't noticing anything. It is that fatal, painful spot in the prostate, which fathered it cruelly, the metastasis. If I would only have less uncertainty about this duration, I wouldn't have sleepless nights from worry and people for seclusion. So are these my last days, childless with waiting and only with blues. And the name of my second poem is Thought. We have a lot when we are hot. Then we are young and beautiful. Everyone but us is a fool. $5 I slapped your butt, but now nobody's corrupt. What if everybody was? That is a strong thought. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I like this ending. So as you can see, tonight we are very few. On est très peu ce soir. And I apologize if my short timing was too short for some people. But as I was telling Lydie earlier, I have so much to do currently that it's hard for me to keep up with these events. The offer is still running if you feel like you want to give a hand with the promotion of the events. You just have to send us a message via email or Facebook or Instagram. And for my reading, I choose not to read a poem per se, but a poetic bit from the book The Plague Dogs from Richard Adams. And I think Richard Adams really had a way of telling things that is really poetic, and I wanted to read just a bit of a conversation that I find really pretty. "Oh, for the wings of a ship!" sighs Snitter, as they began once more to follow the inexorable Todd up the Gillspool and cascades toward Wheelie Wife Moor. "Wings of a ship, Snitter?" "Yes, they had them once, you know. What happened was that one flew up into the sky, so naturally they all followed. Then they took off their wings and began feeding, and as the sun moved on across the sky, they went with it to keep warm. Well, towards the evening, a wind got up and blew all their wings away from the place where they had left them. They never got them back. You can see them all up there blowing along in the blue of this day. But how did the ship get back to the ground? Why, a long way off the sky curves down and touches the land. You can see it does. They had to walk round a long way. Took them ages." That was it. I found this little story very pretty and I really liked it. And yes, Richard Adams has written wonderful book. I can only say go and read it. Really interesting. Have either of you read Richard Adams? Quelqu'un de vous a lu Richard Adams? Igor, have you read him? Do you know him?
Somehow it sounds familiar to me, but it doesn't ring the bell. I have an impression. Maybe I'm right now. I'm like occupied. I have a less concentration because of the exhibition I had today. But somehow his name sounds familiar to me. I cannot remember.
Okay, so I guess we're done for tonight. It was a really short one, but a really nice one, having nice company. And the last word is yours, Igor, Lydie.
Okay, yeah. I think that it is really wonderful that we have these readings, and we hope we'll continue and that we will publish our book of poetry. And what a wonderful idea to gather on internet and to have international audience and to meet international colleagues. So many interesting people I met here, and I'm still communicating with, and I think now when I think the pandemic is coming to its end, but we should continue this wonderful possibility because let me give you one example. For example, when I was studying, we were studying about computer animation, and this was in 90. Let's say 1995 or 1994, I don't remember. And then we were studying about the Jurassic Park. And actually, the technology for the animation in Jurassic Park was invented already like 25 years ago, but it was so complicated that they needed 25 years to learn how to use it, you know, the software and the hardware. And like I think this is the same case because we have, I think, wonderful technology. And I think I will mention the one famous Swiss guy, the architect Le Corbusier. And he thinks that it's better to stay home and to listen to music from the gramophone than to go to the concert halls, and there you can catch a cough. And actually, he was like a visionary, and I think this way of socializing is really wonderful. And I, I don't think this is alienating. On the contrary, I think this is even better because in the coziness of your home, you can communicate and within everybody you like, and feel safe, like those children that they say that they prefer online education because they cannot be bullied in their schools. And it's very similar actually for the adults too. I think this is much better and kind of more frank communication than the physical contact, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Pour moi, vraiment, ces émissions, elles sont importantes dans le sens où j'envoyais des vidéos auparavant, mais de partager en direct, c'est tout à fait autre chose. Et je redécouvre vos poèmes différemment, les miens aussi, et je découvre d'autres auteurs. Donc, et effectivement, d'être vraiment physiquement présent avec vous, c'est magique. Donc, j'espère qu'on va continuer. Et moi, je vais faire de la promotion de mon côté aussi parce que la poésie, c'est important dans le monde dans lequel nous vivons aujourd'hui, comme hier et demain. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Magnifique parole pour terminer cette courte session. Wonderful words to end this beautiful session, and we will see you soon.